Oh, does that bother you?
I am constantly asking for more resources, Mr. Balcom. As to what's happening, we are looking for a murder weapon.
Yes, of course. You haven't asked us if my father had any enemies, Chief Inspector. Neither have you told us how the killer may have got into the house.
I assumed you'd tell me if you suspected anyone. As to how the killer got into the house, I don't know at the moment.
What's all that about? Are you mad? You'll antagonize him. Let's just get them out of here.
They're not going to go away, Harry. They're here to find out who killed Father. Besides, if anyone's behaving stupidly, it's you. With all your yes, sir, no, sir nonsense.
Oh, you're so smart. So calm. But if I'm so stupid, how come I'm where I am and you're where you are, Jimmy boy? How come I'm the big cheese around here?
Yeah, the place was heaving. They're all up here living it, you know. But listen, I've checked with the local rag. They make out Morse as a hot shot. Bags of copy. I'm telling you, we have hit a seam here. Yeah? What? You what? Yeah, we can do that if you like. Yeah? No. Yeah? Look, everybody's going to do this money bags murder angle. Be done to death. This is different. Yeah, but look, this man is a natural target. He calls a bimbo madam. He tells me what we should give the punters, and guess what? He's an Oxford man. No, I mean, he actually went to Oxford. Yeah, exactly. So we give it a go? Right, thank you. Goodbye. You must be mad. I mean, who's going to be interested in a copper? Well, I am, Charlie. And he's not just a copper, is he? He's part of this. So is you. Only I heard you didn't finish it.
Chief Inspector Morse. Mrs. Cliff?
No. She's in the back garden.
Before the power starting every aspect of this. In looking at the history of mankind, anthropologists can tell us of nations, tribes, clans, and classes.
Chief Inspector Morse.
Thank you, Jessica. I told Emily I'd call and see her. Is she all right?
She seemed so, yes.
I'm not sure there's much I can tell you, Chief Inspector. I left at the same time as Mr. Rydale and got home about midnight.
Lady Balcom implied that there was someone missing from the party. Someone she loved. I spoke to the maid.
It's not what you think, Chief Inspector. Emily had a child when she was about 40. And the baby died when it was just a few hours old, and she's never quite gotten over it. I think that's what she was referring to.
You obviously know the family quite well. Have you lived here long?
Live here? I should be so lucky. No, I rent the cottage twice, sometimes 3 times a year. Have done for the past 15 years. I work in a hospital near Durham, where I have a rather nondescript semi with a lawn the size of a postage stamp.
Then I'm twice wrong.
Oh?
You have a secretary, a dictaphone. I thought you were a writer.
Well, you're half right, Chief Inspector. I was published some years ago, but my outpourings sank without trace. Family matters.
I'm sorry?
That's my field, the family.
A perfect setting for an author, I would have thought.
Yes. I love it here. And so near Oxford.
You studied there?
For my degree, yes. My doctorate, well, that was Cambridge.
Foot in both camps.
There's a call for you.
Thank you. Morse. I'm on my way, Lewis. Excuse me. Perhaps we can talk some other time.
We're always here.
Told you the police would come.
Of course he came. There's been a murder. I was at the house. It's just...
Oh, don't give me that. They'll blame me. They always do. I shouldn't have come here. You shouldn't have brought me.
It was found in the moat here, sir. Could only have been tossed in from the lawn, not from the house. And Harry Balcom was the only one that was outside.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Lewis. Let's make sure this is what killed him.
There's little doubt, Chief Inspector, this is your murder weapon. The shape matches perfectly with the contours of the dead man's wound.
It's not the sort of thing you'd hammer a nail in with, is it?
The stonemasons, I'd say. There were heavy traces of sandstone on the shaft and in the joints. I've had less luck with this little item. Partial prints from the deceased, but everything else was badly smudged.
What can you tell us?
It's a reasonably expensive pen, but the place of origin was stamped on the inside. It was made in Montreal.
Do you know when it was made?
Not precisely. Roughly 20 years ago.
I hope your visit's necessary, Morse. Mummy's not to be troubled needlessly.
We have some information on the pen we found.
It was manufactured in Montreal. Has anyone in the family ever been there? Or anyone you know?
I've never been there.
I've always avoided travel, Chief Inspector.
You've been there, Harry, surely.
Well, that was years ago. Anyway, it was Toronto.
Well, they're hardly worlds apart, Harry.
Now listen, you little shit!
Please excuse my son's language, Chief Inspector.
Oh, don't you apologize for me. It's him. He started it. Well, what's he trying to do? Hmm? Ask him that.
Steady on, for God's sake, Harry. You were there. It's best to be honest about it.
I went on a business trip to Toronto, Chief Inspector. But I didn't buy any pens. If that's the reason you've come here, I'm afraid you've wasted your time.
There is something else, Mr. Balcom. We found the murder weapon.
It was found very near the house here.
What was it?
A hammer, sir. The kind used by a stonemason.
Well, we must hope you have similar luck catching the killer.
We must indeed, Mr. Balcom.
If it was one of the Balcoms, the odds have to be on Harry, sir.
Yes, but to throw the hammer into the moat, Lewis, he must have known we'd look there.
Maybe he had no option. The body was discovered quite quickly. When the girl started screaming, he had to dump the hammer somewhere.
Well, there's no doubt there's something worrying him.
What do you suppose they're saying?
How should I know?
Steady, Jimmy. Not so cocky now, are we?
It's nothing. Coincidence, that's all. What else could it be?
I hope you're right about this. Well, nothing's certain, Charlie. Only death. Look at this place, Charlie. Look at it. Now, what we do is the real world. Millions read me every day. Millions. How many of these plonkers in their colleges can say that? And our Inspector Morse reeks of all this. I mean, Madden, it is. Madden. Well, let's hope our inspector gets a very early result.
What is this?
I'd call it bland and inoffensive, but a timely reminder of our vulnerability.
It's about me. It's irrelevant. What has this to do with the inquiry?
I somehow suspect that'll depend on you, Morse.
How can they print this?
Well, they have. And what they say reflects upon us all. You do well to remember that, Morse.
They've written about me in the paper, Lewis. Not about the inquiry. About me.
Fame can weigh heavy. Listen, I wouldn't take it seriously.
No, you're right.
So, the argument the Vulgams had on the night of the party, couldn't Harry's motive stem from that?
If he is our man, Lewis. Do you suppose Rydale could be more specific?
I doubt if there's much gets past Mr. Rydale. Yes, Lewis? Yeah, okay. Miss Jessica White to see you.
She'd better come up.
They've put her in an interview room.
That man, the one that was murdered.
Sir John Balcom?
Yeah, him. You know what, I didn't do it.
Well, no one said that you did, Miss White.
I've only been here a few days. I didn't even know him. I mean, they're Margaret's friends, not mine.
Miss White.
I mean, I was asleep at the time. So you see, I couldn't have done it.
Please.
No. But you don't understand. I've been ill, Chief Inspector, for a long time. But I'm not anymore. See, Margaret helped me sort things out. And I always got the blame for everything. When I was in care, in the hospital, all the bloody time.
Miss White, no one is accusing you of anything. Now, I'm sure Mrs. Cliff will be worried about you. Why don't I get Sergeant Lewis to call her, and I can drive you out.
I thought if I told them myself, they'd believe me. Oh, I'm sorry.
There, there, there. Come on, calm down, calm down. You've nothing to reproach yourself for. Nothing at all. She's lying down. Thank you for bringing her home.
It was the least I could do.
Please, Inspector.
Thank you. I didn't realize the estate was so large.
Very, very large. And according to the reference books, there's a Roman fort on it somewhere, which I hope to find someday.
The metal detector.
Well, there's a chance it might help.
Well, that strikes me as a very interesting pastime. And an apt one for a psychologist.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, would that human beings were as accessible as old ruins, Chief Inspector. My job would be so much easier.
I'm sure. Can you tell me why Jessica came to us, Mrs. Cliff?
I can try. A person's mental well-being depends on their ability to cope with external pressures. That requires inner strength. Now, if that inner strength is diminished, then the ability to cope is likewise weakened. The world becomes a hostile place to be withdrawn from or lashed out at. The smallest thing can sometimes provoke either response.
But why should we suspect her? Why should she think that?
Jessica was adopted at birth. The couple that took her were later divorced and she was put into care. While she was there, she was told about her background. The way Jessica saw it, she'd been rejected twice, by her natural mother and by the family who adopted her. She became resentful. Later, she became violent. There were a number of incidents at the children's home. Jessica came to us when she was 16. Came to me. She was discharged 6 months ago.
So much for professional detachment. She clearly means a great deal to you. But, her future?
Oh, she's young. She'll move on.
You seem very generous with the time you give to others. You have no family of your own?
My husband died in the second year of our marriage. Since then, I've had my work and my hobby.
She all right?
She's in very good hands.
Weird, though, don't you think, coming into this station like that?
Not really. Sir John and his sons left early to discuss some business, Mr. Rydale. They argued. Have you any idea what that was about?
There's always something to argue about in business, Chief Inspector.
But given your position, you'd be aware of anything contentious.
There was some talk of turning Curzon into a public company, with Emily retaining 51% of the shareholding.
Who was talking?
Sir John, James.
And Harry?
Harry was against it.
So it couldn't go ahead?
Decisions are made in a 2/3 majority. Harry couldn't stop it.
But with Sir John dead?
Decisions have to be unanimous now, obviously. Harry can block the move.
Harry gets his way.
Yes. Chief Inspector, you're not suggesting...
Why was Harry against the idea?
Oh, I really don't know, Sergeant.
Nor why Sir John and James wanted to sell up half the company in the first place?
They told me it was to finance a major venture they were planning. They wouldn't say what. As I've told you, my role is a marginal one, and since Emily would remain in control of the firm, they didn't need to consult with me.
We're doing quite well, sir.
Not well enough. Ah, Sergeant. Your name's not on this list, I see.
What is that?
For volunteers to man the stalls at the annual fete.
Oh, isn't it, sir? I guess I must have forgot.
Put the sergeant's name down, would you? Yes. Chief Inspector, you do intend coming along to the station fete? You know we have...
The Deputy Chief Constable performing the opening ceremony. Yes, I know, sir. Wild horses wouldn't drag me away.
Good.
What's he doing? Reading a book. You know, what book? A big, thick one, I don't know. What's that music? That's Mozart, Charlie. Suave suel un vento from Così fan tutti. Oh, it's nice. Yeah, it's only music.
Get the hell out of here!
Your son's not at home?
And they've gone to London, a meeting with the company solicitors. What exactly are you hoping to find?
It's possible your husband's killer may have been a business rival. There may be some reference in his correspondence that will prove helpful.
This is his study.
You're welcome to stay if you wish.
That was his room. I haven't set foot in it for years. It's still his room. Was your search worthwhile?
It wasn't, I'm sorry to say. Though it appears we have a mutual friend, Joshua Masterson.
Must have been an acquaintance of my husband. The name means nothing to me.
Oh, well. Well, thank you for your cooperation, Lady Balcom.
an agent soon, Chief Inspector.
Sorry?
You're becoming famous. I'd love to have my picture in the paper. What's it like, seeing yourself?
May I keep this?